From Wayzata High School in Plymouth, it's 12 Sports coverage of high school football. Hi and welcome everybody. Along with Bill Hunstock, I'm Joe Molina, and today we bring you a great matchup. It's the Wayzata Trojans hosting the Edina Hornets. Wayzata hosting their homecoming here against Edina, and what we believe to be a pretty even matchup. And this matchup here tonight features two teams, the last three champions from the Lake Conference, with Edina winning last year's conference championship, beating both Wayzata and Eden Prairie, and Wayzata winning the two previous Lake Conference championships.
I think it's going to be a very good game tonight. Both these teams are well coached. They're experienced teams. They've got a lot of seniors on both clubs, but both clubs are starting a couple of sophomores, so they're really spreading things out. But the atmosphere here tonight, I think, is very, very good for a good game. Both teams have been playing well the last couple of weeks. They've sorted out some of the problems they had early in the season, and I think we're going to see a really good game tonight.
You mentioned both teams have played some of their best football recently, and they are both coming off very impressive wins. First, you look at Edina, a very impressive win last week against Minneapolis, maybe more accurate at the quarterback position than they had been all season long, and just a nice win against the Skippers where they got up early and hung on to that game.
Yeah, they really brought it together as a complete team against Minnetonka last week. Tonka's got a great passing offense, and they played very well defensively. They're going to need to continue to do that tonight. But they also got their offensive game underneath them a little bit. Their quarterback came out a little bit and really started to play well, and that's going to be, again, a key factor. They're going to have a balanced offense in order to keep the Wayzata defense a little off balance. Likewise, the Wayzata offense is going to have to play well against an improving Edina defense.
And you were there last week when Wayzata got, again, maybe one of its more impressive victories of the season as they beat Hopkins in pretty convincing fashion, but it was a good win for the Trojans.
It was a very good win for the Trojans last week. They started off, the first play from scrimmage was absolutely horrendous. It was a pass intercepted, returned for a touchdown by Hopkins, and that's how they started the game. And it took them about 2 more quarters to really start to establish the dominance. But once they did, they really took control of the game in the third quarter, scoring 3 times in the third quarter and really putting the game out of way.
Another interesting element to this game is where these two teams are and their respective schedules. Edina comes in with a 3-3 record, their 7th game of the year, and they have one more game after this game next week, and then they end their regular season. They have a bye, they're week 8, and they get ready for the playoffs. They played their 0 week and got that early game out of the way. For Wayzata, they couldn't land an 8th game this year. They had a bye just a couple of weeks ago, and this is only their 5th game of the year at 3-1.
Absolutely. That may make a little bit of a difference. I think at this point in the season, we're getting down. People are preparing for the playoffs and everything. The number of games maybe has a little bit of a factor because Wayzata's kids are maybe a little fresher. They had their bye week a couple of weeks ago. They have gotten some players back that were injured early in the season, and both teams appear to be healthy. But I think that difference in the schedule numbers may show up at some point.
We expect a good one here tonight. Wayzata trying to win on homecoming, trying to stay unbeaten in the lake, and getting ready for Eden Prairie next week. It should be a good one. It's the Trojans and the Hornets next on 12 Sports.
A Brooklyn Park church received some unwelcome visitors this past weekend.
Volunteers really do have their work cut out for them. They'll be inspecting 23,000 residential lots and city boulevards.
The problem began when the railroad decided to increase the train's speed. In the process, they had to raise a portion of the track over here.
Fire crews got a call around 4 Friday morning from a passerby alerting them to a deck fire.
This time, little lob for Winnicky, trying to go up and get it. Touchdown!
And as we get ready here for Friday Night Football at Wayzata High School, it's the Edina Hornets up to the line. And kicking off for the Hornets will be Patrick LaCour. as he will be kicking into the wind here tonight. Interesting, Edina wants the wind at their back for you don't see teams who are kicking off to open up games into the wind very often. LaCour's kick is up and on the ground, actually, and it's going to go out of bounds, so we'll have a flag on the play, and Wayzata will start the game with pretty decent field position. And let's say hello to our third member of the team here tonight, Barrett Anderson.
Thanks, guys. I'm here on the field for tonight's game. It's a game of revenge. After a loss to Edina last year on Wayzata's home turf, Wayzata prepared and battled back. But will Edina let that happen again tonight? I don't know. I guess time will tell.
All right. Thank you very much, Barrett, as Wayzata comes out. First down and 10 from their 35-yard line after the penalty for kicking it out of bounds. It's led by quarterback Jake Marsh, the sophomore signal caller for the Trojans. And he fakes the handoff on first down to throw on first down, hits his tight end across the middle on a naked boot. And they'll pick up about 6 yards on that opening play. On the reception for Wayzata is the big tight end, Brandon Lingen.
That's going to be a key, key play for them tonight, is getting Lingen into the flat, getting him the ball, and letting him run after he catches.
There you see Marsh, the sophomore quarterback, last week opened up against Hopkins with an interception thrown for a touchdown the other way, but recovered quite nicely. Now he hands off to Tanner Bedard on first down, and the ball's on the turf, and it's going to be Edina football as Wayzata once again turns the ball over early on in the game, as they did a week ago. This time it's a fumble, and the Hornets recover a big play defensively on the recover. It looked like it was Obi McReynolds.
Yeah, and we'll see that the ball gets stripped right there from Tanner Bedard. Hornets are all over it. Good field position at the 47-yard line of Wayzata. Very emotional play right out of the gate for Edina.
Here comes a look at the Edina offense for the first time tonight, led by senior quarterback Troy Peterson. And on first down, the Hornets keep the ball on the ground as it's the senior quarterback calling his own number and picking up about 4 yards on first down.
And we'll see a lot of Troy Peterson doing a variety of things. He's their number one rusher. He's also the quarterback. He's the number one thrower. He's accounted for almost 70% of their total offense so far this year.
Peterson comes out of the shotgun, second down and 6. One wide receiver to his right, and he's going to run the ball again left side. Gets out along the end, breaks one tackle, now cuts back to the opposite side, but loses his footing, falls down behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a loss, and if he could have kept his feet, he probably would have had a pretty nice gain.
And we'll see he gets spun around on the left side, and working his way back to the middle of the field, slips and falls, and actually ends up losing 4 and puts himself in a 3rd and 11.
Official timeout, Steele Berg, as we mentioned before the game. Bill Hunstock, one of the best names we've seen in high school football in some time. He's got his foot come out of his shoe there, and they give him an official timeout to get things corrected on this big third down play for the Hornets. You see your Trojans starting defense up in your right corner. A defense that's been pretty steady all season long. Played in some really close games early on in the season. A loss against Lakeville South, a double overtime victory over Rosemount, and last week a nice victory against Hopkins. But some of the best tests coming up now in the next 3 weeks on the regular season schedule. Third down and 11 for Peterson and the Hornets. He has one receiver to his right, 2 backs flanking him to the left. Back to pass, looks right, throws it to his receiver, and he overshoots him. It's going to go out of bounds on that incomplete pass, and it will fall incomplete as Edina will go 3 and out on its first possession. After a good positive start on first down, they go backwards on second down, and eventually an incomplete pass on third down.
Here we get a look at Reed Boltman, head coach of the Edina Hornets. He's had a very good program there. He's done a very good job of developing things over the last 4 or 5 years. And they're ready to go here tonight at the punting unit.
McCord back to punt, kicks and punts for Edina. This one will hit at the 15-yard line of the Trojans, and that's where it's scooped up and taken up the right side. A good return there by Baxter as he gets swept up out of bounds there near the 20-yard line.
Pretty nice return, but number 7, Jack Dummer, does a nice job of getting in and getting into the return man's leg getting into Patch's legs and taking him out. Field position at the 21-yard line, 21-yard line, yep, for Edina. So they lost a little bit of a field position on that exchange of possessions.
But when you turn the ball over in your own end on your first possession, that didn't turn out too bad. Defense made a nice stop there on a 3-and-out. They go right back to Bedard now after turning the football over on his first carry of the game. This time he takes the ball left side once again and hangs on to it tightly for a nice pickup of about 5 yards on first down.
Yeah, they that particular play, that stretch isolation type play that Wayzata runs, they'll run that. That's their bread and butter play. They'll run that play until the Edina defense stops it.
Marsh comes out now, 2 receivers to his right. He's going to fling it out that way on second down. He has an open receiver and a nice pickup as Clark rushes down the right side. Anthony Clark makes that reception, and he has a first down and more.
Here we'll see a good quick catch on the tear route by Clark, almost like a screen to the slot back. And there we see, get a good look at Brad Anderson. We have a hold during the play called on Wayzata, so that'll bring the ball back to the 25-yard line. Replay second down. It'll be second and about 6.
Yeah, it's like a net loss of 1 because it was a spot foul where the holding came downfield after the reception. So it's essentially like a loss of 1 yard, but remaining second down. Handoff now goes deep into the backfield, and that one was Austin Gordon. Gordon got back to the line of scrimmage and then spun forward for a couple of yards on that second down carry, and that'll bring up third down for the Trojans.
It will be about 3rd and 5 for the Trojans here. This is a tough defense that Edina has. We haven't heard a lot about their defense so far this year, but they've played very well against some very good competition. Eden Prairie, Minnetonka.
On third down, they'll send one man in motion, and it's a quick 2-step drop pass out to the left side.
Ooh.
Reception is made, and it's going to be real close to a first down after Michael Smith tried to work his way up to that first down marker.
So we'll see, this is a good run after the catch here by Smith as he gets between 2 defenders and drags himself forward, but not quite enough.
Yeah, they
for the first down.
Picked up about 3 yards, Bill, it looks like, but they needed 4. And Wayzata's punting unit will come on now for the first time in the game. Smith on that reception.
Always a good idea to have the punter on the field when you're going to punt.
Great point. That's why we have you up here. Nick Fredrickson comes back to punt. The left-footed punter gets a good one off. They might have to have him come out late more often. That was a good one. Now it's scooped up and taken by Charlie Black. Black gets away from one tackle, gets back to where he initially made contact with that football and got near the 20-yard line, but a great punt by the Trojans to kind of make up for that 3-and-out and get some field position.
Here we'll get a good look at this punt. This thing's huge. And the return guy just doesn't get much of a chance. That's Charlie Black, doesn't get much of a chance to get anything going. Just gets the ball back to the 20-yard line. So big change in field position on that huge punt for Wayzata. They've got Edina back in deep in their own zone.
Wayzata winning the field position battle early. Now they in first down. They hand the ball off for the first time this game. The first time Peterson didn't call his own number. And they handed it off at the middle there to Placide, Kevin Placide, the second leading rusher on this Hornet team, and he has a pretty decent pickup of 2 yards, maybe actually give him 3 on that first down carry. On second down, they give it to Placide again, but this time he's met in the backfield and dropped for a loss. Into that backfield is Logan Larson, one of the captains of this Wayzata defense.
We watched Logan Larson last week. He's a very active linebacker. He attacks the line of scrimmage, whether he's on a blitz or he's on a read. He's coming hard downhill. We get a good look at it right there as he meets the runner Placide in the backfield.
It actually wasn't as big of a loss as it looked like, as they gave him forward progress. It got back to the line of scrimmage, they say. It looked like a loss to me, but it's still going to be 3rd down and 8 to go now for this Edina team. Out of the shotgun, Larson rolls to his left, gets away from one defender, throws it downfield. Ooh. And his receiver had fallen down. That ball could have dangerously been intercepted. Nelson Moen couldn't find his way to it on the defensive coverage for the Trojans.
Here on the sprint out to the left, pressure by Greeley, the defensive end, and Peterson throws the ball out to the middle of the field. Actually, he was throwing it towards the sideline. The wind is blowing hard enough across the field to drive the ball when it's thrown long right across the field like that.
Edina to punt again. Their second 3-and-out of the game, and this ball goes out of bounds across midfield into Wayzata territory at the 47-yard line. And again, just the way that the two punting games are going right now, Wayzata's marching down the field through special teams. They haven't converted a first down yet, but they're getting great field position because of the better punting unit so far.
So far. Yeah, that one punt was just so big that it changes the entire field position of the game. 6:10 to go in the first quarter.
Wayzata's taking the ball at their own 35, their own 21, and now their own 47. Marsh under center, hands the ball to Bedard left side. Bedard gets to that initial line of scrimmage across midfield to the second level where he's taken down for a gain of 4.
This is like we said, the bread and butter play. All the tailbacks for Wayzata run that play very hard. They execute it very well. The left side of the offensive line does a very nice job of getting hooked up with defensive people and pushing around.
Jake Marsh, the sophomore quarterback under center, hands it off once again deep into the backfield. This time a nice cutback lane and a first down for the Trojans. Upfield on the carry there for Wayzata.
Here we see Colpeen taking the ball. Nice trap play, kick out by the left guard. Colpeen gets deep into the secondary, getting a nice gain down to the Edina 30-yard line.
A gain of 19 there for Colpeen on his first carry of the game, and he found that cutback lane quickly and had a nice pickup there. Marsh now under center, 2 receivers right, 1 to his left. Colpeen the deep back in the backfield. And he gives it to Colpeen once again, who's met at the line of scrimmage with some contact. He breaks right through. Into the second level he goes, and he gets a first down, and there's a flag late on the play. It could be a face mask. The way it looked like he was brought down kind of high and his knee bent underneath him.
And boy, this play sure looked like Colpeen was stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
It's a gain of 13. We'll see what the penalty is.
He makes a nice break of the tackle here.
Sorry about that, Bill, jumping on your talk there, but we're going to call it a 5-yard face mask, so not a personal foul one. Just going to add on to the run. Edina's first penalty of the game. Here comes Colpeen. Boy, he was met at the line of scrimmage, but surged right through it. And then a great pancake block downfield. You saw Brandon Mead on that block. Gets a great one. So Colpeen, a couple of nice carries early in this game. Now they go back to Gordon. And Gordon got taken down on what looked to be like a horse collar tackle, and that's what Wayzata wants, as he took that ball inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, he was wrapped up pretty well right behind the helmet there. As you can see, he got the jersey, not the shoulder pad, so number 19 for the defense, Nick Mertz. But a pretty good gain for Austin Gordon, getting the ball down inside the 10-yard line.
Second down and 5 now. Marsh under center, 1 receiver wide to the left. The handoff goes to Bedard. Bedard up the middle. He's got a nice gain. It looks like it's going to be close to the first down, but appears to maybe be just short.
And here we see Bedard cutting right in past the pulling lineman, getting up into the line of scrimmage. Just short of the first down, 3rd and about 1.
Wayzata's looking to get its 3rd first down of this possession here, and it would be a big one. Of course, they wouldn't mind getting in the end zone as well. They're going to go out with 2 tight ends, 1 receiver to the right. Bedard, the deep back in the backfield. Marsh under center. And we have a flag and early whistle, and that's usually bad news for the offense.
Somebody proceeded illegally. We'll take a look. A couple of the offensive linemen just got off a half a count quick.
Costly false start on the Trojans, their second penalty of the game. 2 penalties, 15 yards now on Wayzata. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 6, and obviously changes the play call as Michael Smith comes into the game, bringing a new play in. Smith will split out to the right-hand side. It's now an I formation in the backfield. Bedard, the deep back, behind Logan Larson. Marsh fakes the handoff, rolls to his right. He's going to keep it on his own, and he's going to be short of the 1st down as he's driven backwards inside the 10. A good tackle in the open field by the Hornets. On the stop there was Kevin Coate.
Yeah, and Marsh does I think a smart thing by not throwing a ball into a crowd, but he did have an open receiver in the end zone, but just didn't have a chance to get the ball to him quickly enough. So Marsh is putting him at the 4th down and about 5, so we'll see a field goal attempt.
So on to kick this field goal is DeAndre Bretko. And the kick is up. And through the uprights as Wayzata gets on the board here. They would have liked 6 or 7, but they get 3 instead.
And that's after the 2 big running plays by Cole Peen. That's a semi-victory for the Edina defense to not give up the score and get out of there with only a field goal.
Well, Wayzata gets up 3-0 here, and it's all because they get the ball with excellent field position. They get a couple of big runs by Joe Colbean, and then really they get into business there. And again, it's probably a smart play by their quarterback, Marsh, not throwing the ball like what you said on 3rd down, not forcing it and realizing they have the kind of kicking game that can get them 3 points.
Yep. Yeah, it's a lot better to get 3 points than force a ball and have a pick or something like that. That just, for a young quarterback, that was a pretty heads-up play by Marsh.
Now handling the kicking off duties for Wayzata will be Fredrickson. A left-footed kicker. Gets good leg on that one and kicks another touchback. Last week, every kickoff, except for one, I believe, went for a touchback. And once again, he gives Wayzata defense a lot of room to work with on that touchback as Edina will take over at their 20-yard line. 3rd possession of the game for the Hornets. They're still looking for their first down. What does Edina need to do to get this offense rolling?
I really believe that they need to establish their running game somehow to try to solidify the line of scrimmage. They need to really attack the line of scrimmage. They need to get something going with the running game.
Peterson comes out on 1st down of the shotgun. They're going to run option right. He keeps it. And he gets across the line of scrimmage and into the 2nd level of the Trojan defense before he's finally taken out along the far sidelines.
And here we'll see a version of the old speed option and a nice tackle by Kyle Calavota. 3-year starter for Wayzata. Calavota is really one of the anchors of that defense. He's one of the leading tacklers from his safety spot and does a very nice job. But that option is going to be can be a problem for an aggressive defense.
This time they give the ball to the tailback in the backfield, and Edina looks to have its first down of the game on the give to Placide. He needed 4. Looked like he got across that 1st down marker successfully and probably picked up 5 on that 2nd down carry.
This is a nice inside play to Placide, getting into the line of scrimmage and in the linebacker zone and making a play.
Peterson was out of the shotgun. He puts Placide behind him now, which puts him in the pistol formation. 2 receivers left, 1 right, sends one of those receivers in motion. And then we have an illegal procedure penalty with a false start called on the Hornets. So that'll move them back 5 yards, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. They get their first down of the game, and then they get that false start penalty. Their 3rd penalty already of the ball game.
Watching the backs are having a tendency to roll out of their out of their stance. And what I mean is the snap count starts, their shoulders are starting to roll forward, and if they move at all, that's going to end up being a procedure penalty.
First and 15, it's Peterson calling his own number out of the shotgun, follows the running back up the hole, and he picks up a couple of yards on first down. Not back to the original line of scrimmage, however.
You know, one of the things that we mentioned with the Edina offense, they really need to be able to run play action passes to get their passing game off, and that means that they're going to have to establish some level of a running game. Doesn't have to be great, but they have to get something.
Peterson gets his first pass completion as he slings it out to the left side. Charlie Black on the reception on a little bubble screen there. He got forward for a couple of yards. And a nice tackle in the open field by the Trojan defensive back, Steelberg.
Yeah, Steelberg does a good job of fighting through the screen block by the other receiver and making a very aggressive play for a short gain. Now 3rd and long for Edina.
On 3rd down, Peterson rolls to his right, throws it across his body and across the middle, and he actually had a receiver open, and they just couldn't get the timing right. I think he expected his receiver to be moving a little bit quicker and just put it out in front of him a little bit too far.
And he gets himself up in the air to try to get it downfield and just misses Boone on the reach there. So
Peterson now 1 for 4 on the game, and Edina now goes to 0 for 3 on 3rd down in the game.
You get like you said, Joe, they get their first down, get backwards a step, and now they're punting again for the 4th time.
This punt will actually be picked up and returned along the far sideline there, and he gets a couple of yards there before he gets knocked out of bounds on that return. It was Patch for Wayzata. Logan Patch gets knocked out of bounds there after an okay return, but it was the right play to get that ball and not let it roll any further.
That's right.
All right, we'll take a break. It's after 1 quarter. It's Wayzata 3, Edina 0. You're watching 12 Sports.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
Back at a packed house here at Wayzata High School in Plymouth. I'm Joe Moline along with Bill Hunstock. Barrett Anderson is along the sidelines, and it's the Wayzata Trojans leading their Lake Conference rival Edina 3-0. These two teams, the last 3 champions of the Lake Conference, and you wonder how that could be with Eden Prairie winning back-to-back state championships, but Eden Prairie lost last year in the regular season to Edina, and the year before they lost in the regular season to Wayzata. Eden Prairie says, take your Lake Conference championships, we'll take the state championship. On 1st down, Wayzata's gonna go up over the top, and they just misfire. New quarterback into the game for the Trojans. It was Andrew Redding, and Redding just misfired.
Yeah, we see a very nice play action pass, and Redding just gets the ball over the hands of the receiver, Michael Smith.
So Redding comes out 0 for 1, and this is just something Wayzata's done for as long as I've been watching Wayzata football under Coach Brad Anderson. They play the 2nd-string quarterback the first drive of the 2nd quarter, and you know, Jake Marsh comes out, perfect start to his game, 3 for 3 for 24 yards, but still in comes the backup, and this is going to be a live ball. It should be, as it went backwards, I thought. And it was going to be called an incomplete pass as Redding stepped back, kind of a 1-step drop, and flung it out to the right side. He got hit as he made the throw, and referees are going to say that ball went forward rather than backwards.
Yeah, and that ball was, I don't know if it got tipped at the line as well. Yeah, well, it was definitely backwards. That could have been easily interpreted as a lateral.
Wayzata did a good job, though. They played to the whistle. The receiver got on that football. You can tell he was well coached. He got that ball, acted as if it was live until he heard enough whistles to stop play. 3rd down and 10 after multiple or back-to-back incomplete passes now from Reading. And on 2nd down, they're going to keep the ball on the ground. It's Bedard with a big hole across midfield to the 40. Cuts back at the 30. Stiff arm at the 20. Dragged down inside the 15, down to the 12. A huge 3rd down and 10 play by the Trojans.
And that's really what Tanner Bedard can bring. Watch how he breaks a couple of tackles. He gets into the linebacker zone, breaks a tackle there, breaks a hand tackle, gets down in, another miss. And you can see the kind of effort that Tanner Bedard brings to running the football. Very tough, not a very big guy, but a very tough guy to bring down.
49-yard run by Bedard. Now they go to Gordon. He runs off tackle right side. He takes a big hit there as he crossed the line of scrimmage. One of the tacklers in there for the Hornets was Jack Dummer.
Boy, that was it looked like Austin Gordon was going to make a nice run there, and Jack Dummer just really got into it.
On 2nd down, Reading play action fake, rolls to his right and throws it to an open receiver. His first completion of this drive, and he found his big tight end there on the right side. Hard to miss him on that completion to Brandon Lingen.
And Brandon Lingen's a big target at 6'5", 230 pounds, runs well, catches well, and this is a nice throw by Reading, who is also 6'6". And a nice hard tackle by Jack Dummer. Dummer is a very solid tackler, comes in very hard, uses his shoulders and chest to make contact, does a nice job.
Reading under center now, 2 tight ends, and Bedard, the deep back in the backfield. Hands it off left side. Bedard has a 1st down and maybe a touchdown. He does. Bedard falls forward into the end zone for a 4-yard touchdown run, and the Trojans extend their lead.
That's that same isolation stretch play that Wayzata has used for a long period of time, and Tanner Bedard's just the latest in a long string of good running backs. All goes down to the offensive line. That offensive line is doing a nice job. They're getting a couple of good down blocks at the point of attack, and usually a pretty good kick out by a pulling guard to make that play go. Here we get a good look at the ground level. You can see that Bedard gets his shoulders over his toes, gets his shoulders forward. Very tough to tackle in a short yardage situation right there. Gets banged pretty good, but has the momentum to carry himself into the end zone.
So Wayzata gets up 10-0 here against their rival, the Edina Hornets. And it's a nice start to the second quarter for Wayzata. And, you know, it's got to feel pretty good to punch that one in, too, because on the last possession, they get down deep in Edina territory. The Hornets stepped up, made a good defensive stop. They put 3 points on the board, but as an offense, you tend to feel defeated if you can't get in the end zone. This time, they completed by putting 6 on the board.
Exactly, yep. You know, and Edina really has to get their offense off the schneid now. You cannot let Wayzata's defense start to determine what you're doing offensively, and they're getting very close to that situation right now.
A little pooch kick here now, going to be fielded at the Edina 22, and he runs up the right sidelines and out of bounds on that return. There's Obi McReynolds for the Hornets, as Wayzata tried to kind of throw something a little bit different there into the wind rather than trying to kick that touchback. They tried to kind of pooch it in there.
Yep.
McReynolds makes the smart play there, kind of gets forward, but then also gets out of bounds, knowing that he doesn't have a real designed kickoff return set up for him to protect him as he returns that ball. Edina taking some extra time now as they break out of their sideline huddle. A big possession for the Hornets.
Yeah, they really need to get more than just a first down on this possession. I don't know if you ever get into a must score type of situation at this point in the game, but Edina really has to get their offense going. The defense, if we watch a couple of key defensive players, particularly Logan Larson, we'll watch how many times he gets in and out of the line of scrimmage and where he's moving to.
Peterson back to pass on first down, has an open receiver, Ben Boone, and Boone has that reception, and he's out of bounds for a first time. The first time those two hooked up, as they're the 1-2 combination for this Edina offense, as Boone and the Hornets have a first down on a pickup of 16 yards.
That's a very nice pass play between Peterson and Boone. Boone was very open out there in the deep flat. Nice catch for a first down and good field position at the 45-yard line now.
High formation, handoff goes to Placide, and the Placide gets forward for a couple of yards. Second leading carrier on this Edina team has 2 yards on first down. Ben Boone has to factor into this game at some point. You figured he's got 4 touchdown receptions on the year, 413 yards receiving through 6 games. So he's one of their biggest offensive weapons, and first time they called his number in this game on that first down, and now they put the ball on the ground there, and they're not getting much on the ground in this game so far, so you wonder if the passing game might take over a little bit here.
Yeah, and this is a team that's about 60% pass, 60% run, 40% pass, so they really need to get things going.
Peterson rolls to his right there and tries to hit his open target, but he slightly threw it behind Cullen Rosh. Rosh could make the reception for the Hornets. That one falls incomplete.
And the ball just a little bit behind Rosh. If that ball is spotted on his other shoulder, he's able to make that catch and gain about 4 or 5 yards.
Peterson 2 of 6 now, 4 incomplete passes. In last week's game, he only had 4 incomplete passes. He's matched that number already here tonight. Now Peterson in trouble, rolls to his right, but he finds an open receiver, and they have a first down. Securing that catch was Nate Johnson, and it's a big one for the Hornets.
Boy, that was a big one, because you can see that Peterson is going down when he throws the ball. He's being dragged down by his waist, and that was a very nice catch by Nate Johnson on a desperate pass by Peterson.
And on first down and 10, it's Peterson on the quarterback keeper, and he didn't really know what he wanted to do there. He got to the sidelines there and just kind of got pushed out of bounds for a no gain.
Yeah, running the option, that speed option with the quarterback coming out of the shotgun like that, he's got to make a decision fairly quickly. The short side of the field is very tough to get much of a pitch to the short side of the field.
2 first downs on this possession, easily Edina's best offensive possession so far. Peterson rolls to his left, throws it into some traffic, but it's caught. A nice completion there across the middle, and that looked like Joe Jenkins who has the reception for the Hornets.
Yeah, this is a receiver making the quarterback look pretty good. Not a great ball, but a very nice catch by Jenkins to get a couple yards there.
Peterson back to pass. This time he's going deep, and there's a little bit of contact on the outside. The Hornets, Ben Boone wants a penalty, but he's not going to get a flag in this situation as that ball falls incomplete as it was overthrown.
Yeah, the Wayzata corners are playing a lot of man-to-man, and they do a real good job of clutching and grabbing at the receivers and making sure that they do it in such a way that they don't get called for holding and pass interference very much. But in a man-to-man situation, the defender has to get their hands on the receiver, or they're just going to get beat.
A big 4th down play now for the Hornets. Their first attempt to go for it on 4th down. Peterson out of the shotgun. He puts Placide on his left. He's going to throw it to the right side. He's got an open receiver, and Boone makes the catch on the near sideline, and he has enough for a first down.
Boy, Ben Boone makes a nice catch there as he reaches high to get this ball. Nice catch. First down, 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line.
A 14-yard gain there Big fourth down conversion. Now they go back to the ground. Placide as they're really hurrying up the offense now. And he's got a pretty decent pickup up the middle on first down.
This is a nice change of tempo. They really, like we said right at the beginning of this possession, Joe, Edina need to make some offensive changes, and they've done that. They've moved the ball nicely with the pass. They're getting a couple of nice runs here.
They go back to Placide again after that 5-yard pickup and call his number once again. Looks like he's just short of a first down. Needed 5, probably got 4.
Yeah, it's going to be about a 3rd and 1 or 2 here.
Edina probably definitely in field goal range now, but they would really like to move the chains here one more time and give themselves a shot at a touchdown. They're going to go with a full set backfield, almost a power right eye. 2 tight ends. Handoff goes to the deep back, and they look like they had an initial surge enough for a first down. We'll see where that spot comes because Wayzata pushed him back after that first surge, but on the carry it was Ray Washington on the carry.
Yeah, it's going to be very close to a first down, but
check that it was Kevin Coate, one of the linebackers who came out there for the offense there on that full setback. But a spot will indeed tell us where Edina stands. Nonetheless, even if they didn't get the first down, they're close enough to maybe try to sneak in on fourth down. You'd think they're going to be aggressive here, down 10-0. But I think when they pull them tight here, they probably have it. Well, they're just short.
Yeah, they're just short, just a couple of links.
So Edina's already converted one time on fourth down on this possession. Will they go for it again? Be about a 32, 33-yarder if they decided to kick the field goal. And they look like they're going to go for it here on 4th and inches, and I think that's probably the right call.
Yeah, their offensive line really needs to come off the ball hard and establish something right at the point of attack.
Peterson puts one man in motion, gives it to the deep back in the backfield, and he got really close again. It's all about the spot of where those line judges thought he was at.
He got a good surge right into the line of scrimmage before he got stood up.
Berg stood him up. It was on the carry again. It was Kevin Coate, and Berg and company drive him backwards. Boy, it looks
like they got just enough. Yep.
Yeah, I think
about the length of the ball.
Probably the right call since they only needed a couple inches. It looked like he didn't get jumped in the backfield, so I think it's probably the right spot. And Edina moves the chains. Fourth time on this possession already. Peterson fakes the handoff, rolls to his left. Now we have a flag on the play as he broke the end, but perhaps the reason for that was probably a hold on the outside.
Yeah, we got a hold.
Couple of flags in the play, so multiple officials saw it. Oh, there it is. Now we see it. Oh, boy. That's why he got the edge.
That's a 2-point takedown in wrestling, so.
Kind of wondered why Peterson was able to get the corner and the edge against this tough Wayzata defense. Where'd the containment go? Got choked out.
There you go, literally.
So a 10-yard penalty for Edina. They get marched backwards here. 4th penalty of the half, 25 yards of penalty so far. Out of the shotgun now, it's kind of a trips formation to the short side of the field on the left side. One receiver, Boone, to the right. They're probably trying to isolate Boone here, I would imagine. Peterson back to pass, decides to keep it. He surges up the middle. He does not get back to the line of scrimmage, so give Wayzata a sack on that play as he's brought down for a short loss.
Very good job by the Wayzata, pass rush to stay in their lanes, and as soon as Peterson breaks the contain to close down and make the play.
While the Hornets are going to take a timeout here on a critical second down play upcoming with 5:50 to go in this second quarter. It's Wayzata 10, Edina 0, but the Hornets are driving. Bill Hunstock, Joe Moline, Barrett Anderson all here for this game live on Channel 12 Sports, and it's homecoming night here at Wayzata High School. It's one of the best, locations for high school football in the metro area, but on homecoming night it's extra special with all the crowd tight and packed in here and all the festivities planned, the band, of course, the cheerleaders, the dance line all ready to go at halftime.
It's a great atmosphere out here. A lot of people, a lot of different kinds of festivities going on this evening here at Wayzata. A lot of fun.
A lot of tradition, of course, with the Trojans. 3-time state champions, and kind of look when they've done it. It almost feels like they're due once again.
Right.
The last one was back in 2010. This class of players out here were not probably a state champion quite yet. They might have been on the freshman team, but this senior class here would like to, you know, win a state championship. And what they've been doing the last kind of 8, 9, 10 years was that everyone's kind of won a state championship the way that they won it every couple of years.
Right.
All right, second down now after that short loss. We're going to call it second down and 20 as Peterson rolls to his right. It's a double reverse pass. Boone's going to pass the ball to the quarterback, Peterson, and he's got him!
Touchdown.
Touchdown for the Hornets. What a play that was. Out of the timeout, they come out with some trickeration. A 23-yard pass play on a double reverse pass. It's the receiver, Boone, to the quarterback, Troy Peterson.
You know, your chances of a play like that actually working are usually pretty small, Joe. You're handling the ball between 3 and 4 guys and hoping that the defense will go to sleep with watching all the guys running around in the background, in the backfield. And Troy Peterson was able to break free and make a nice diving catch.
All right, how many players touch the ball? Peterson hands it off to one, to another. And there it is. Boone gets hit as he throws the football too. And Peterson, maybe benefiting from last year being one of the best wide receivers on the team, makes that catch in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, and Boone does a nice job of showing some poise throwing the ball because he took a pretty good shot right when he let go of it. So well played by the Edina offense. Nicely executed. Nobody was downfield.
My favorite part of that play call is it was on second down in a non-desperate situation. I mean, it was desperate because it was second down and 20.
Right.
But on third down, you're looking for kind of, how are they going to get this 20 yards, you know?
Yeah.
On second down, you kind of think they want to get about 10 yards and cut that 20 yards in half. You're thinking of maybe a more conservative play call is coming from a defensive standpoint.
And that's a great comment, Joe, because one of the things an offensive coordinator tries to do is move away from the things that they've done from time to time so they can break that tendency, and they did a nice job with that one.
Well, an excellent drive for Edina, which included, by the way, 2 fourth down conversions. I mean, that's staying in the ball game.
Yes, plus a somewhat of a trick play at the end there to get the touchdown. That does change the entire complexion of what we're seeing here with the changing it from a 10-point to a 3-point game.
So Wayzata has scored on back-to-back possessions, a field goal and then a touchdown, and so they'll try to answer the bell once again. They're going to come out here back with their starting quarterback. Jumping back under center is Jake Marsh, the sophomore for the Trojans. He'll come out under center, and he fakes it to his deep back. He's got a lot of running room out to the left side. He's going to keep it himself, but he's not able to get away from the hands of the waiting linebacker. Chasing him down is Kevin Coate making that tackle.
This is pretty nicely run. Looked like there was a nice flank to run at, but Marsh just doesn't have the ability to get around the edge, and Coate does a nice job. The 3 linebackers for Edina are very active. They're the leading tacklers on the team. They get after things pretty good, and along with their safety, Dummer, they do a really good job of keeping the offense contained.
So Marsh loses about a yard on first down. Now it's second down and 11. He's going to take a 3-step drop, throw to the right side. He has an open receiver and a first down on that completion. And making the catch is Ryan Kite for Wayzata.
Boy, nice grab by Kite on the deep slant. Nice tackle, but Kite had the inside angle and there was nobody underneath that. Nice first down for Wayzata in that situation.
Marsh now 4 for 4 for 41 yards. That's a 17-yarder to Kite. Now looking to stay perfect. 5 for 5, slings out to the right side. A nice spin move there to get loose, and he's still on his feet. It's Anthony Clark on the big gain for the Trojans.
And this is just a nice, safe pass. We've seen this before tonight. Nice spin move by Clark. He breaks a couple of tackles, makes a couple of nice moves downfield, has good speed. Ball goes into Edina territory at the 43-yard line, 1st and 10, with 4:21 remaining in the half.
21-yarder there for Clark, his second reception of the game. Now they hand the ball off. Bedard gets a nice little cutback lane as he started out left and then found a little soft spot in the defense, and he gets forward for about a 4-yard gain.
And I really like the way that Tanner Bedard runs the ball. Watch his hips as he moves in, moves out, makes a cut and gets going. Nicely done by Tanner Bedard.
Reminds me of the running back that Maple Grove has a little bit now, and Clark Winicky.
Yep.
Another can kind of cut but get upfield north and south at the same time. Handoff goes to Bedard once again, right side, and he gets a nice little cut back there, spins out of a couple of tackles, and gets a first down.
That's down to the 32. Looks like it's going to be enough for the first down as it's Joe Copine.
Copine on check.
Is again, all 4 of their tailbacks run the ball hard. If you're a tailback in a Wayzata offense and you don't run hard, you're not going to carry the ball. That's all there is to it. But they all run hard. They all cut back very nicely, and they do a pretty good job getting the ball upfield.
So Copine picks up a first down for the Trojans. Their second first down of this possession. Now Marsh hands it off right side. This time they go to Gordon, and Gordon is tackled right behind the line of scrimmage. The defensive penetration there coming from Edina's Nicholas Oliver.
And pretty well done by the defense. Oliver does a nice job of keeping leverage on the man blocking him and is able to get one hand out and wrap up the runner Gordon before he could really get going. 2-yard loss where it's 2nd and 12, 2nd and 11.
Marsh under center. I said one guy in motion. Now they have a false start penalty coming up for the Trojans. Wayzata did an excellent job last week against Hopkins. Hopkins kind of racked up the penalties a little bit, and the Trojans stayed pretty disciplined in that game. Only a couple of penalties all game long, but this already their 3rd in the half for 20 yards of penalties.
Yeah, they're a very disciplined offense, and they'll make very few mistakes, but sometimes those darn procedure penalties are so critical because they take away the momentum or the field position or something that can really be harmful, even though it's only a 5-yarder.
2 tight ends and 1 deep back in the game now as Marsh hands it off left side. The give is to Gordon. Gordon gets to the second level across the 30, inside the 20. A cutback and tackled inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. A big gain for the Trojans.
The one thing that Austin Gordon brings is good speed. He's got very good feet, and he's able to make guys miss. He's, again, not a big guy, but he makes people miss, and he's got very good speed. Once he gets around the flank, he's got that breakaway type speed.
Another first down for the Trojans as they look to extend their lead up 10-7, answering the call as Edina scored in their last possession. Now the fake handoff to Bedard, throwing it right side. He has an open receiver and a catch made by Smith. Michael Smith makes that catch near the far sideline and had a first down, tried to get in the end zone, but was tackled 2 yards shy.
Nice grab by Smith. He catches it, turns upfield, and is able to get past, not quite get past Kevin Placide, but ball's at the 2-yard line. I might guess that we might see the ball go off the left side of the offense.
High formation, Bedard the deep back. There it goes, handoff to Bedard, and into the end zone he goes. 2-yard touchdown run for Tanner Bedard. But really, I think sensational play from the sophomore quarterback, who's, according to my stats, a perfect 6 for 6 with 74 yards in this first half.
Well, that is nice, particularly for a young quarterback to start to settle in, play with some confidence, get a couple of nice touchdown drives going, put this game back up to a 10-point lead.
And they didn't leave that much time left on the clock for Edina to operate here. Only a minute 32 to go in the second quarter. Like, 2-possession lead against this Hornets team.
And once again, we'll see that Tanner Bedard gets his shoulders over his toes. And that's just an absolutely critical angle for a running back. It's very hard to bring a guy down when he's got his shoulders out ahead of his feet. Makes it very tough. He's got good momentum. He's got good speed and good power.
And it's a unique play in that situation, too. A lot of times in the I formation, you run more of a blast play where the fullback leads the way up to the hole. They send their fullback to get the backside. All the linemen are kind of just blocking down to the left.
Yep.
Fullback kicks out it gives everyone a better angle, really. And it's just a different way to block that play up, but Wayzata does it so successfully.
And they'll pull you have to really watch carefully, but they'll pull one or both guards on a lot of those plays, and they look like it's an off tackle or an off guard play, but they'll use those short traps with their guards very effectively.
Another pooch kick hits at the 23-yard line. It's in a loose ball, and it looks like one of the Hornets has it, but he's only sitting on it, so he hasn't really secured it yet. Oh boy, Edina ended up getting back on that football. That was a hold your breath moment there for the Hornets coaching staff.
Boy, you certainly don't want to give up this ball coming down. Boom, it bounces away from the return guy, and boy, they were lucky to get that. Edina was lucky to get that ball covered and not have it be a turnover.
And I guess sitting on the football constitutes possession. Peterson to throw the ball on first down across the middle, and outstretched Boone pays the price. Tries to make the grab, but boy, did he take a hit from the safety.
Yeah, that's a nice hit by Steele Berg on that play to knock the ball away from number 84, Charlie Black.
Yeah, Steele
was
Berg
really making a nice reach for that ball.
I'm sorry about that. Steele Berg, the best of both worlds there. He played the ball and got the contact on the receiver, and it was Black, the receiver, that went up there to try to make that catch. Now he's kind of getting his head straightened up by the officials as we get ready for second down.
There you go. Referee Mike Karnas, 39-year veteran of high school and college football here in the Minneapolis metro area.
Hasn't missed a call yet. Peterson rolls to his left, cuts back under pressure, and he's going to get taken down for a sack. How aggressive will Wayzata be here? Are they going to take a timeout? And I think they are.
Yeah, there's plenty of time. If you got third and fairly long, you might get the ball back on a punt, but you can see there's a lot of pressure on Peterson.
They actually don't use a timeout. They let the clock run a little bit here. I thought maybe they could take a timeout and put the pressure on Edina. Edina threw that incomplete pass on first down. That stopped the clock. But clock runs here on third down and long. Edina looking to set up the screen, and it looked like Peterson almost intentionally threw that one low. He didn't think the screen was there.
No, there were two defensive guys sitting right on Placide. He just threw the ball at Placide's feet.
I think Placide made an amazing catch, but he wasn't supposed to catch it. But
right.
You know what it did, though? It made Wayzata use a timeout, I believe, if they're going to stop the clock. That falls incomplete. Wayzata gets to keep a timeout in their pocket there.
And the clock is stopped.
Yeah, Trojans did use a timeout there to stop it. But, I mean, that was, the quarterback trying to throw an incomplete pass to kind of keep it safe. But the Placide makes a catch, which doesn't go for any yards, but has kind of some implications based on Trojans using a timeout.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Making a grab like that, you say, okay, fine. He threw it at your feet. There wasn't anything that was going to happen from that play. but now you force Wayzata into a timeout. There's only about 37 seconds left in the half. Now, I'll guarantee you something here, Joe.
Is Wayzata coming after this punt?
Somebody's going to come after this punt.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they'll have 3 or 4, but they'll have 1 or 2 of their defensive guys coming at this thing very hard.
Keep an eye on 11, Drew Greeley, one of the captains for the Trojans. He's going to be out on his right defensive end spot on the top of your screen. It kind of came, but it was blocked pretty well. And this punt safely goes out of bounds. Probably the right play, too, to kick that out of bounds. I mean, they would have liked to get more distance on it, as it's going to be marked out at the Edina 46-yard line. So not a great net on that punt, but safely not allowing Wayzata to run that football back.
And now Wayzata's got they've got the challenging call. They got the ball in good field position at the 46-yard line of Edina. Now the question is, you've got a 10-point lead. Do you want to, do you want to go after a score? If you throw the ball, you risk. There's a risk in throwing the ball. Now, Jake Marsh has done a very nice job. He's perfect so far tonight, but keeping the ball on the ground is probably a safer call.
And you keep the ball on the ground on first down to see what happens, and they give it to Bedard on first down, and he gets a pretty good gain. So that allows you to be aggressive now and call a timeout. So now you're in a good situation here. And now you decide what to do on second down.
Right.
Of course, high school football, clock will stop with a first down. So at second down and 2, you might be able to run the ball one more time here and stop the clock again.
And if you want to go for the home run, you might be able to get a good play action pass, fake the running play to Bedard, and see if you can pop Smith or one of the other receivers, Smith or Kipe, get those guys free up the sideline or even up the middle of the field.
Now Tanner Bedard putting together some pretty good numbers now because of a big run earlier in the quarter, but now 8 carries, 77 yards, 2 touchdowns in the night. It's homecoming here at Wayzata, and word from someone on the street said that he was the homecoming king. I can't confirm that yet. We might have to have Barrett Anderson look into it, and I'm getting the thumbs up here from some of the staff up here. He is the homecoming king, and 2 touchdowns and 77 yards in the first half. That seems to be a pretty nice night for him.
That would get my vote.
Wayzata comes back out now on second down after the timeout. Marsh will come out under center with 3 receivers to his left. And he goes back to pass, 5-step drop, looks down the middle, throws it, and it's caught!
Oh my goodness.
A first down for the Trojans down inside the 10-yard line. A nice reception made by Wayzata's Keontae Johnson.
And this is a nice grab. I actually thought Kevin Placide made the catch for Edina. As you can see right there. Ooh, that ball bounces too.
Uh-oh, no replay in high school football.
No replay, but that was not a catch. He did not catch that ball. It's a nice result for Wayzata. A ball that really wasn't caught.
One of the rare fields in high school football that has a replay up on the scoreboard.
Go take a look here. You can see the ball comes down. Looks like it's in Johnson's hands, but you can see the ball coming away right there. That is not a catch. It bounces away from him and comes right back to his hand. But then you can see it hits the ground right there. It's not a catch.
And at the same time, you can see the official just doesn't have the angle to see that.
Yeah,
He's coming in from the backside.
He can't see
there.
where the ball is, and the ball is blocked by 2 bodies, but that was not a catch. That was a catch.
Well, first down and goal from the 7-yard line as Wayzata looks to extend its lead. Marsh back to pass, throwing it to the right side.
Ooh.
And some miscommunication between he and Johnson there. As Johnson cut in, he wanted him to go out, and that one falls incomplete. 7.2 seconds to go in the quarter. Wayzata's not going to risk another play. They're going to bring on the field goal unit, and it's
you really if you got a good kicking game at some point you want to get the points. The time is gonna go away. One more incomplete pass, and you may not have enough time, even with the timeout, to really get things set up and run.
A 24-yarder being attempted now by Clay Elmore, and this one never had a chance. Elmore made one earlier in the game, but this one does not, and there's still some time left on the
3.3 seconds.
Well, some time on the clock there for Edina. Time for one play, but maybe some justice prevailing right there with Wayzata unable to get some points on the board.
No points after the completion that wasn't a completion.
So with only 3.3 seconds remaining on the clock, Edina's going to do the right thing here and just snap it and take a knee and be happy they're only down 10 points.
Right.
So an interesting half of football. Edina kicked off to begin the game, so they will get the ball to begin the second half, but they're down 10 points, and Wayzata's offense seems to be humming right along. And we'll see how Edina's defense adjusts and what they change in that second half of football. But a good half of football nonetheless. A lot of different plays that stuck out. And we'll go through all those later on in the halftime as we look at stats and some of the first half highlights. But it's a good one here at Wayzata on homecoming night as the Trojans lead Edina 17-7. And at that end of that possession there, Jake Marsh threw his first incomplete pass as well. 7 for 8 now for 103 yards.
That's a pretty good night.
Now let's throw it down to Barrett Anderson, who's standing by with head coach Brad Anderson.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with head coach of Wayzata, Brad Anderson. Brad, what are your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I thought it's a good first half for us. You know, defensively, I thought we held up really well. We gave them one long drive that got them back into the game, but we responded with another long drive of our own. So I thought that was key, the fact that after they came down and scored, we were able to go back and get those points back.
What are you going to tell your guys going into the locker room right now?
We're going to have to play another half just like that in order to come out on top. We know it's a good club, and you know, it's a tighter ball game than the score's showing right now.
One last question. Tanner Bedard is a name we've heard a lot about tonight. Can you tell us a little bit about him?
You know, Tanner's our starting tailback. He's one of our captains. Not big in size, but he's big in the fact that he produces a lot for us. So he's one of the 3 running backs we put back there, and when called upon, he does a great job for us.
Thanks so much for your time. Good luck in the second half.
My pleasure.
Thanks, guys. That's all I have for you right now, and we're headed to commercial. See you back after this.
Osseo, Crystal, and Plymouth. Channel 12 is your local source.
It's intercepted. This one looks like it could go for the touchdown.
Reed puts it away and Hopkins advances.
Hello and welcome to a new season of Sports Champ.
Channel 12, your local source.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
Channel 12's Community Corner puts the spotlight on your corner of the northwest suburbs.
We want to talk about some things happening around the city of Maple Grove.
New Hope's rinks are officially open.
This is the spot for the Golden Valley Rotary Club.
The City Council worked really hard not to have a tax increase.
You can instantly upgrade your wardrobe with a few simple accessories.
We're in Golden Valley today doing a little recycling.
Rediscover your corner of the northwest suburbs every day on Channel 12's Community Corner.
Back at Wayzata High School, homecoming night here, and the Trojans lead the Hornets of Edina 17-7. Bill Huntstock, Joe Moline, and at halftime here, extended halftime because of homecoming, we get to talk a little high school football. I guess one of the major topics on my mind, just because Wayzata's right in front of us here, is the rivalry between Wayzata and Eden Prairie. This year, it seems to be everybody thinks it's Eden Prairie and everybody else.
Right.
That's the way the scores tend to look so far this year.
So far, yeah.
But Wayzata has the Eagles next week. How do you like the Wayzata Trojans' chances in that game?
Well, I think anytime Wayzata shows up on the field, they got a chance to win the game. Eden Prairie right now is on a roll. They're playing very well. Breaks are going their way, and things are happening to make it look like they're going away with it. But you never know. Every game is different. Every play is different. And playoff football is very different than regular season. It could be very likely that Wayzata and Eden Prairie or another Lake Conference team could be in the mix and play in the semifinals or maybe even potentially in the finals of the state championship. So I don't want to give it to anybody yet, but I think that Eden Prairie is going to be the team to beat.
I guess one thing we will see is, one thing we're used to seeing is teams like Eden Prairie and Wayzata in the Metrodome come November.
That's right.
The Metrodome is going away. So the Minnesota State High School League has made some adjustments. One of the things that came out in the news today is that TCF Stadium is going to be hosting next year's Prep Bowl, the championship games.
Right.
The state semifinals will move to various sites around most likely the metro area, but it could go outstate to some of the universities. We have not seen those locations yet, but what do you think about championship games in Minnesota Thanksgiving weekend outside?
Well, I think it's going to be exciting. Nobody's been around. It's been 28 years since we played outside for the state championship, maybe even longer. I know as long as I've lived here in Minneapolis, we've been in the Metrodome. So being outside is going to bring a whole new dimension to football. I know that I was reading in the paper today that it looks like they're going to try, the high school league's going to try to move the championship game up at least 1 week, and it's going to create all kinds of scheduling challenges to see how they're going to get in all the games that they need to, and then still move the final game up a week before Thanksgiving, so that maybe get a break in the weather.
So one thing that seems to be clear, though, is next year's been fixed with the whole championship game at TCF Stadium. It's 2 years from now. Well, there's a little bit more of a scheduling nightmare. There's a late Labor Day, and then following that, around Thanksgiving time, the Gophers are actually at home, so the stadium's actually not open, and of course Metrodome will be down, and there won't be a new Viking stadium yet, then, maybe ever, who knows with what's going on now, and that's all political, and that kind of leads me to our next topic here, and that is politicians, the state representatives are getting involved a little bit, saying they want the 6A teams, the older teams, like the bigger teams rather, like Wayzata, who were forced to have a bye this year because they didn't want to travel out of state. They couldn't line up that 8th team. Right. Now the politicians are getting involved and saying, fix this, schedule 8 teams, conferences, play nice together, and figure it out.
Yeah, that's a real nightmare. The high school league has a very hard job of trying to help everybody get their scheduling done. It's very expensive for high schools to travel out of state, even over to Wisconsin or down to Iowa. You run into all kinds of scheduling problems with those teams in their home states as well. And we've seen it happen where teams from Kansas, Missouri, even Texas have come up and played our bigger schools here over the last couple years to try to get that 8th game in. And I think it's a real challenge scheduling because of the 0 week and all the hassle with starting school, starting practice, who gets to do what and when. And as we've seen tonight, one team's already played 6 games. They're playing their 7th. One game is only playing their 5th, and they're trying to, here we are right on the doorstep of the playoffs, and we're still trying to figure out who's got games to play.
And one of the things that they did tinker with, they seem to have nailed a little bit. 6A football, 5A football, 4A football, it added an extra class. So far, we haven't thought that the level of football has gone down. We'll see how things play out.
Right.
But that 6A level of the 32 biggest schools and anyone who wants to play in like a Totino Grace seems to have worked so far. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I really agree with it, not because I like to see us have 10 or 12 state championship teams or whatever we have, but I like to see the level of competition. When you've got schools the size of Eden Prairie, Wayzata, Minnetonka, and the schools that are much bigger than even some of the 5A schools, it just changes the dynamic, particularly in football so much. I mean, we see 110 kids dressed for Wayzata tonight. Eden Prairie's got 325 kids traditionally in their football program. It's a real challenge for some of the mid-sized schools, the 4A and 5A schools, to really compete on that level.
Absolutely. There's a big difference between 4A and 5A and 6A, and it's played out pretty nicely. Well, that's Bill and Joe here talking high school football. We'll be right back for more halftime with some stats, some highlights, and right now it's Wayzata up on Edina on homecoming night on 12 Sports.
Maple Grove, New Hope, and Brooklyn Center. Channel 12 is your local source.
Intercepted. This one looks like it could go for the touchdown.
Reed looks it away and Hopkins advances.
Hello and welcome to a new season of Sports Champ.
Channel 12, your local source.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
Osseo, Crystal, and Plymouth. Channel 12 is your local source.
This one looks like it could go for the touchdown.
Reed looks it away and Hopkins advances.
Hello and welcome to a new season of Sports Champ.
Channel 12, your local source. Maple Grove, New Hope, and Brooklyn Center. Channel 12 is your local source.
intercepted. This one looks like it could go for the touchdown.
Reed looks it away and Hopkins advances.
Hello and welcome to a new season of Sports Champ.
Channel 12, your local source.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
A Brooklyn Park church received some unwelcome visitors this past weekend.
Volunteers really do have their work cut out for them. They'll be inspecting 23,000 residential lots and city boulevards.
The problem began when the railroad decided to increase the train's speed. In the process, they had to raise a portion of the track over here.
Fire crews got a call around 4 Friday morning from a passerby alerting them to a deck fire.
This time, little lob for Winicky, trying to go up and get it. Touchdown.
Back at Wayzata High School, the band entertaining the home crowd here tonight as the football took care of that in the first half as they put the Trojans up 17-7. How did we get here? Well, first, a big run early in the first quarter by Joey Colpine. Broke that one off to the left side, got upfield inside the 30-yard line. They did not score a touchdown, but instead it was a field goal by Clay Elmore that put them on the board first here tonight, up 3-0. Then it was Tanner Bedard with a big run on their next possession. Cut back there inside the 30, all the way down inside the red zone, and finished off the run strongly. And it was Bedard who got rewarded after that run because he gets the touchdown carry as well. Into the end zone for a touchdown. That put the Trojans up after the extra point, 10-0. Edina did eventually orchestrate a touchdown scoring drive of their own. That was a big fourth down conversion by Nate Johnson on the reception. And then it was Peterson connecting with Boone for another first down. And then here's the double reverse pass from Boone connecting to his quarterback Peterson into the back of the end zone. A big trick play there on a 2nd down and 20. After a penalty had sent them backwards, that was a big one. Wayzata marched right back. They took the momentum that Edina had and simply took it away. It was Kipe, the first catch there. Now it's Clark catching that one on a swing pass. And upfield he goes, lots of yards after the catch. A big pickup for Clark, and then it was Tanner Bedard putting it into the end zone again for his 2nd touchdown of the half. That's where we stand right now after the extra point. It made it 17-7, and there you see your first half stats. Edina simply not rushing the ball for enough yards. That's maybe the biggest difference in this ball game so far. You see the first downs, Wayzata doubling up Edina. Turnovers, Wayzata turned it over one time, but it was not costly as Edina did not do much with it. It was a 3-and-out following. And there's your penalties. 4 for Edina, 3 for the Trojans. And there we have it.
After one half of football, it's Wayzata leading Edina 17-7. Second half football coming up next on 12 Sports.
A Brooklyn Park church received some unwelcome visitors this past weekend.
Volunteers really do have their work cut out for them. They'll be inspecting 23,000 residential lots and city boulevards.
The problem began when the railroad decided to increase the train's speed. In the process, they had to raise a portion of the track over here.
Fire crews got a call around 4 Friday morning from a passerby alerting them to a deck fire.
This time, little lob for Winicky, trying to go up and get it. Touchdown!
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
Channel 12's Community Corner puts the spotlight on your corner of the northwest suburbs.
We want to talk about some things happening around the city of Maple Grove.
New Hope's rinks are officially open.
This is the spot for the Golden Valley Rotary Club.
The City Council worked really hard not to have a tax increase.
You can instantly upgrade your wardrobe with a few simple accessories.
We're in Golden Valley today doing a little recycling.
Rediscover your corner of the northwest suburbs every day on Channel 12's Community Corner.
Maple Grove, New Hope, and Brooklyn Center. Channel 12 is your local source.
Intercepted. This one looks like it could go for the touchdown.
Reed whips it away and Hopkins advances.
Hello and welcome to a new season of Sports Champ.
Channel 12, your local source.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Back at Wayzata High School, Barrett Anderson now standing by with Edina head coach Reed Boltman.
Thanks, guys. I'm standing here with head coach Reed Boltman for the Edina Hornets. What do you think about the first half?
Well, they did what they wanted to do, and we didn't play very well. So we hopefully got some things squared away at halftime, and hopefully we come out with some better effort and decided to play some football. They had a very good half. They're a very good team, well coached, and we didn't do our part this first half. So hopefully give a better effort this second half and make a game of it here.
What was the atmosphere like in the locker room?
Frustration, disappointment. You know, we didn't play well, didn't tackle well. We didn't read our keys. We didn't do a lot of things. We weren't ready to play, and that's probably on me and my coaching staff. And so hopefully we can come out the second half and give a better effort and see what we can do.
Thanks so much for your time. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Guys, you heard it here. He wishes for the best for the second half. Back to you.
All right, so Coach Boltman and the Hornets trying to turn things around. There's our all-time series, and the band and Barrett. But you see right there, Edina leads the all-time series 30-29. They can't get much closer than that. And Edina with the edge last year, 20-17. Do the Hornets have a comeback in them, or is Wayzata going to tie this thing up at 30 apiece? That's the question as we get ready for the second half of football.
Well, we'll get some. See what happens in the second half. I think Edina, obviously, like Coach Boltman said, they need to get off track. They need to tackle better on defense. They made some mistakes there, but their offense really needs to get on track, which is a real challenge against the Wayzata defense. Wayzata defense is aggressive, they're quick, and they're pretty good tacklers. They're pretty good hitters, and they come at you like gangbusters.
What do you think of Coach Boltman's assessment of that first half, Bill?
Well, knowing Reed pretty well, that's very much his style. He's gonna low key it, and he's gonna you know he's gonna take the responsibility for he and his players, and if they're not playing well, he's gonna shoulder that responsibility.
You know, it's interesting because when you come away, I haven't seen Edina play it this year, but I don't come away from that first half thinking Edina played really that poorly, but it leaves me optimistic here for the second half that if they can turn things around and play the kind of football they think they're capable of, that we could have a pretty good second half. Now, a new element has entered, and we kind of showed you right there. Rain is coming down, and it's coming down at a decent rate right now, and I think it's only going to get worse, judging from all the snowstorm talk west of us this afternoon. It looks like we're going to have some rain here this weekend, and it's starting here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think as much as a problem as the rain is going to continue to be the wind. The wind is coming down. It's diagonally across the field from our back across the field, so you can see the flag is almost straight out there. The wind is definitely a factor. We've seen seen it affect the kicking game. Don't know how much effect it's had on the passing game so far, but certainly the wind and the rain are going to play a factor in what happens here in the second half, particularly with the Edina offense. The rain can really goof up your passing game.
So it's Wayzata kicking off to Edina to begin the second half. That one makes it well out of the end zone as they kick yet another touchback. Good foot on that one as Edina will take over at their own 20-yard line. Not only is Wayzata kind of winning, obviously, this football game by 10-point margin right now, a big part of that's been the field position, and the special teams have been slightly better. So offensively, defensively, and special teams, they always talk about it's all three, and Wayzata right now winning all three elements of the game.
Yeah, quite seriously, Edina really needs to get on. We've said it all the whole game, but they really need to get their offense moving to take the take the Wayzata defense out of the game a little bit.
Peterson to pass on first down. He was running for his life, and then he threw it to no receiver, and it fortunately got knocked down to the turf rather than being intercepted. Breaking up that pass was Logan Larson of Wayzata, as the rain is really coming down here now. And I hope our crew is prepared with their rain gear, because I think it kind of sprung on us pretty quickly here. And it's interesting in the timing that it really happened here on the first play of the second half. So out of the shotgun on 2nd down and 10 now. Peterson sends one man in motion. There was some movement in the backfield, but no penalty flag. And it's going to be a handoff up the middle to Placide. Placide gets forward for a couple of yards, and it looks like to be about a 3-yard gain on 2nd down.
So we're going to end up with 3rd and 7 here as we see the Wayzata offense coming right up to the ball. They're going quick right now.
Here they go once again. Peterson rolls to his right on 3rd down, throws downfield. He's got a receiver, but it's knocked down. Great defensive play by Trevor Bedard, the junior for the Trojans.
And Trevor Bedard makes a nice play here. It looked like when Peterson let that ball go, that he had an open guy, and that the play was going to be made.
We have bags. Do you guys have bags covering them? Okay.
So on 4th down, Edina is going to punt the football away here.
So opening the half with a 3 and out is certainly not the way Edina wanted to start the half.
Patrick LaCour will punt for Edina. He's set up with his heels on his own 10-yard line. Slippery ball here, got to be nervous. Gets a perfect snap though and gets it away cleanly. This ball is going to knock down at the 47-yard line, fall forward for the Hornets. Nice Edina bounce there as it trickles forward to the Wayzata 40-yard line, and that's where Wayzata will take over for its opening possession of the second half.
Yeah, the field position here for Wayzata is very good. The wind really had an effect on that punt. You could see it just die after it got about 20 yards and really didn't get much. It got a little bit of a roll that was in Edina's favor. I would not be surprised to see Wayzata stick more with the run game than anything else right now.
Ground that football a little bit in the second half. Ball possession, ball control is going to be the name of the game here in the second half for the Trojans. They keep it to Bedard on 1st down, left side, and he gets a gain of about 4 yards on 1st down. So 2nd down and 6 upcoming.
You should be able to. The players do let you go. You should ask if they're on the way, Joe.
Under center, they hand the ball off to Bedard. Left side, he's got a big gain. An open hole across midfield inside the 30. Taken down just inside the 20 on a huge sprint up the middle. There is a flag on the play, however. This one could come back.
You're right about the Edina 47-yard line. There's a hold against Wayzata.
Second down and 6 to go. Ball goes left side now on the handoff. Good run by Austin Gordon as Gordon sprung forward, broke a tackle, and he looks like he probably has the 1st down.
Here we get a good look at Gordon taking the ball to the left side.
He could have got tripped up in the backfield.
Yeah, it
there.
looked like he was going to get tripped up in the backfield. Makes a nice escape there and gets up the field to just about midfield and gets the 1st down for the Trojan offense.
Gordon now has 6 carries for 41 yards in the game. Second leading rusher in the game. Gordon gets it again on first down and 10. He's got a huge hole up the middle, and he springs through the Hornet defense deep into their secondary inside the 30-yard line. Gain of 24.
When you can see the offensive line for Wayzata just getting a great push down the line of scrimmage. They're just kicking out each defensive lineman, and they're getting such a good push that the running backs are getting nice holes to run into.
First down and 10 now for the Trojans as Marsh gets under center, fakes it, and gives a counter draw. Back to the play. It's Cole Pete on the carry. He cuts back, and he's going to be into the end zone on a great run. Boy, the Trojan offensive line came out to work here in the second half, and they dominated the Hornet defense on this very first offensive possession.
Boy, every play was just executed so well. Blocking by the 5 guys up front, plus the tight end, just made a great hole for each one of the running backs. All 3 of them had very good carries. And again, that's where Wayzata is just going to wear you out. And now you're in a position where you're down by more than 2 scores. You got to throw the ball, and throwing the ball now is going to be problematic. And the Wayzata defense is going to tee off on you now.
Bad snap, or actually not a bad snap, but it's tough to handle it in this wet conditions. Looked like Trimark had a hard time handling that one there. Let's take a look first at the touchdown.
You see how Colpine does a nice job of weaving his way through. He moves very well, cutting against the grain. He makes a nice move right there, and then cuts right back, picks up a downfield block that takes out 2 guys from his receiver and gets all the way down into the end zone. And here we see the extra point attempt. The snap from the center just not there. The ball's wet, it's bouncing around, and nothing happening with that one.
My favorite on that replay was Clay Elmore, the kicker.
Yeah.
He wanted to keep on trying to kick it even though it wasn't set up properly. And then he probably got the most physical he's gotten all season as he kind of laid on top of the Edina player.
Yep.
Make sure that was down. That was good stuff. Another long kick into the end zone. It's going to go for a touchback as they continue to pound the ball through the end zone when the wind is left to right here. As Fredrickson's teeing off on that one as he kicks another touchback.
Yeah, he gets a good foot in it. Gets a little bit of a lot of help by the wind, and the ball's at the 20-yard line for Edina.
Well, gut check time for this Hornets team now. If they're going to stay in this ball game, they got to make something happen now. Down 23-7, and Wayzata's kind of throwing some big punches at him here in the second half. On first down, Edina keeps the ball on the ground for a short gain.
Yeah, if Edina is going to run the ball, their offensive line has to do a better job of hooking up and staying sustained with their blocks. They're getting an initial contact, but they're really not getting hooked up well with the defenders and not getting any push at all.
Play action fake as Peterson rolls to his right, throwing it deep downfield, and this one's going to fall incomplete. His receiver was well covered across the backside there. He was looking to connect with his big tight end, Preston Carroll, but Carroll was well covered by the safety, and that ball was underthrown. Had it been thrown accurately, it might have just been thrown as an interception.
Right.
The coverage was so good. Five and 12 for 49 yards now is Troy Peterson. Trying to make things happen. Peterson to pass now on third down, and it's intercepted. It's Nelson Moen who takes it from the 35 all the way in for a defensive touchdown as he puts the Trojans on the board again.
That is a huge defensive play. Nelson Moen making the high leaping grab of the pass. Looked like a pretty good pass. Looked like it had some pretty good distance on it, but Moen really played the ball better than the receiver Boone did, and Boy, that's a tough play for Edina, and it's a great play. I don't know if that's the final nail in the coffin, but it's certainly one of them because it's so hard to come back. Now you're down by 4 scores, and you may not get the ball enough times that if you score on every possession, you still might not be able to score and get the win.
Guys, stop. Just bring them up.
Nelson Moen gets the interception for the touchdown, and they go for 2 to get on track. They didn't like missing that extra point, so instead it'll go to Joey Colpine, who takes it in for the 2-point conversion. Let's take a look first at this interception for a touchdown. A 42-yard interception return by Nelson Moen.
And look at how many blockers he picks up as he's running it back. You got defensive linemen, you got linebackers, D-backs, everybody getting back to lead that blocking. And Moen does a good job of getting upfield. He finds where he's got a seam to run, lets people get in front of him, gets back into the end zone. Here we see the power play with Colpine. Getting into the end zone for the 2-point conversion is now 31-7, Wayzata.
This one actually, it was almost not a touchback, but it was 1 yard into the end zone, and in high school football, you can't take it out of the end zone, so this one will go for a touchback as Edina once again not able to return the football. So it's going to be hard for the Hornets to get back into this game, but what they need to do is try to regain some composure. You know, if you thought the first half was bad, boy, look at what he thinks of the second half.
Well, you know, and those are the kind of things that just kill you. You're trying to get back in the game. You've got to make a big play. The big play goes against you in a heartbeat, and now you got to come right back down to your basic fundamental football.
Well, fundamental football is keeping the ball on the ground, and that's what they do on first down as they get a pretty nice pickup there from Jack Rickert. Rickert comes into the game and immediately runs for 9 yards, almost 10. We're going to mark him just shy of that first down.
And I think this is what, you know, Edina is predominantly a running team, and they really need to get themselves in gear here.
And on second down, they're going to pick up the first down as they get a gain of 6 on that carry, and that time they gave it to one of their fullbacks, Kevin Coate. So Edina moves the chains for the first time in the second half, and now they're rolling. First down and 10. It's almost like that rain really affected Edina more than it affected Wayzata. I mean, I don't know if I'm making an excuse there, but I mean, it seems like it came down and everyone kind of stopped in their tracks in white uniforms, and Wayzata played right through it and made some things happen. Minnesota high school football, you start off early in the year, it's all about the heat and maintaining the heat and staying hydrated, all the cramps, and then 6 weeks later you're battling wind and rain, and then a couple weeks later it'll be snow. A lot of misdirection in the backfield there, and that time the counter play goes right side. On the carry once again, it was Rickert, and Rickert on his second carry of the ball game picks up a couple across the original line of scrimmage and forward for a few yards on second down. That'll bring up third down and long.
Now Edina is trying to come up with a little bit of misdirection and some counter plays, things like that, to try to take away some of the aggression that the Wayzata defense has. But with a lead as big as this, Wayzata's defense is just going to continue to be aggressive.
Peterson on a fake handoff rolls to his left, gets his defender up in the air, and gets away from one defender, but he's followed up by 3 more. He got Drew Greeley to lose his feet on a pump fake, but then once he cut back, he found the rest of that Trojan defense awaiting.
And there's Logan Larson right there to make the play.
Foster Conzetta also in on the tackle for Wayzata. So that brings up fourth down in the punting unit once again for Edina. End over end. And going to be returned there by Logan Patch inside his own 30. Upfield he goes across the 40, taken down at around the 42.
Patch does a good job of fielding the punt on the bounce, finding a seam and getting upfield and getting the ball back to about the 42-yard line. Tackle made by number 39, Joe Doran, covering the punt.
So Wayzata again winning the field position battle tonight. Great field position as they begin their second possession of the second half, even though they've already scored twice because of the defensive touchdown. Now to pass on first down. It's the backup quarterback, and he's got a receiver, and he's got the catch. Michael Smith into the end zone for a 58-yarder off the throwing arm of senior quarterback Andrew Redding.
Boy, and this was set up very well. You had Michael Smith was all by himself. There was no safety in the middle. I suspect a blown coverage there by the Edina defense, but nonetheless, Michael Smith makes a nice grab and gets downfield and gets the big touchdown, and now really takes the game away, almost completely away from Edina now. It's just going to be so hard.
You know, when I'm the opposition, and this is on tape now, I mean, you're playing against Wayzata when Redding comes into the ball game. I mean, be ready for the deep ball. I mean, they've kind of shown that tendency now. On his first play of the first half, he goes deep on first down, and the first play of the second half, he does the exact same thing.
Right, and you can see that Redding has Smith all by himself. He has 2 strides on the defender, and there's no safety even close. There's no safety even in the county.
And Smith has the speed to take it in. A good moment for Michael Smith, another senior here on homecoming night. Redding, a senior on homecoming night, comes in. He had a tough start when he first came out. He threw his first couple passes incomplete, but ultimately he rallied them, and they got a touchdown on that drive that he was in the second quarter, that first possession of the second quarter. And then here a nice touchdown pass as well. So a bunch of seniors for Wayzata in what I imagine is a special night, really performing well.
Yeah, 58-yard pass completion for a touchdown. Redding to Smith. That's a big play.
Another touchback off the foot of Fredrickson, and boy, I mean, we've only played nearly a half, just over a half of football, or over a quarter of football, and 21 points in this third quarter for Wayzata.
Yeah, Wayzata has really just exploded here. And this is what they did last week against Hopkins. They had 21 points in the third quarter as well. And you know, when you get 3 unanswered touchdowns, Joe, you well know that pretty well puts any game away pretty quickly.
Edina's third possession now, all of them starting from their own 20-yard line. Out of the shotgun, they hand the ball off up the middle to Placide, who gets a pretty nice gain, one of his best runs of the game, a gain of 9. Calavoda in on the tackle for the Trojans. And they'll go no huddle here, second down and 1. Peterson out of the shotgun, sends Black in motion, but then looks like to be a penalty coming up here on the Hornets. It's a false start. There it is, that proverbial 1 step forward, 2 steps back, happening once again to Edina as they get a nice gain. And then it's a false start to follow it up, marching back 5 more yards. First penalty of the...
And those kinds of penalties are just really tough mental mistakes that you really can't have.
Peterson gives it to Placide, has a nice hole up the middle on the draw play. Gets across the line of scrimmage and then eventually across the first down marker for a first down. A nice gain right there by Placide and the Hornets, a gain of 8. And another first down for Edina.
So Edina's, showing some resilience here with their running game, and this is what they really need to do. They need to run the football, but when you're trailing by 31 points, it's hard to do much. But you have to get the running game going. I mean, you just can't stand around and throw the ball.
Troy Peterson, who came into this game as the leading rusher with 389 yards on the year, 4.5 yards per carry, actually has not got much on the ground in this game. Wayzata has stymied him quite nicely, but he picked up 6 in that first down carry. Now it's Placide on the handoff. He gets forward, needed 4, probably got 3.
You're going to be just short of the first down by a yard or less.
Third and less than 1. Edina will go out of the shotgun. Peterson sends Black in motion, fakes it to Black, gives it to Placide, and Placide gets forward near midfield on a first down pickup on a gain of 7.
Pretty nice misdirection there, faking the jet sweep and giving the ball on the counter up to Placide, who gets upfield nearly to midfield.
And how do you like this, Bill? Wayzata sensing this one getting away from a little bit, they take a timeout.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to be giving up too much here.
Giving up 2 first downs. They're only up 21-0 in the quarter. Hey, we got to put a stop to this. Perhaps maybe seeing something they didn't like right there, and maybe something they could help playing out to their defense. But defense uses a timeout here. They stop the clock and talk things over. Edina getting their first couple of first downs of the half, and as you continue to see the wind and the rain, and it's really interesting though how Minnesota football does this, where weather really comes into play a lot in these Friday night games. So different than what the college landscape is when you have these nice fall afternoons.
Right.
Evenings just brings in the wind and the cold a little bit.
Yeah, temperature's 20 degrees colder now than it was yesterday afternoon, so it's it's a big change.
Peterson has his best carry of the game, his best rush attempt, as he goes for a first down on a 12-yard pickup. 7 carries, 21 yards for the quarterback. Now he's going to run the option left side. Uses Placide as a blocker, gets a decent block from him, but then the blocking runs out along the outside there as the receivers eventually could not hold on any longer. And he picks up a few yards, though, on first down. A nice gain for the Hornets. Give him 4 yards on that carry.
Yeah, it's surprised that it looked like he was going to be tackled for no gain, but he did manage to squeeze out a couple yards at the end. But running sideways against Wayzata is not a recipe for success.
Very good east to west defense for years and years now, from all those state championship teams. That's what they built their defense on, as everyone couldn't believe how fast this defense was. And they really changed the way other teams around the state play defense now too, not worrying about size up front as much, but how well can he run. Sprint option on third down. Peterson keeps it, tries to cut back along against the grain there, gets about a yard but needed 2, so he's going to be short of that first down. It's going to bring up fourth down and short.
And he's not short by much, but when they're running the option, the relationship between the quarterback and the pitchback has to be there. And what's happened the last 2 times they've run the option is that Peterson has run that distance too short.
Oh, the ball's on the ground. Peterson had a first down, but he fumbled it, and it's recovered by Wayzata. Bad break for the Hornets, as that ball just kind of popped right loose and into the hands of one of the Trojan defensive backs. There's also a Trojan injury on the play, but good news and bad news for Wayzata. They get a stop, or they get possession of the football after the fumble.
Yeah, and the ball just squirted out there.
Steelberg called his name a lot in the first half, gets the fumble recovery, but injured on the play. Back behind the play is Saul Eugene.
You can just see where Saul Eugene got folded up. His legs got caught underneath him as his body moved the other direction.
You saw at the end of that play there on the fumble recovery, Steele Berg got tackled kind of awkwardly. It looked like Steele Berg might have had a potential for sustaining an injury, but it's actually the injured player on the field is someone behind the play. Saul Eugene from the defensive line. See if you can catch 49. He's right down your right side right now. So watch Eugene come into the play. He runs into his.
And you see right there, he gets bent backwards.
You know, he almost helped force that fumble too with his.
Yeah.
The way he was chasing that play down. So hopefully Saul Eugene is okay. Looks like he's walking
quite gingerly.
Oh, yeah.
The way he got bent back, and probably an ankle injury, hopefully not a knee injury.
He's putting a lot of weight on it right now, which is good news, I think, because on those high ankle sprains, you're not really able to even put any weight on it. And high ankle sprain will have you out for quite a while.
Yeah, a knee injury, you wouldn't be able to put any weight on it. So bad break for Edina as they move the ball very nicely, better part of 70 yards, and lose the ball on a fumble. That's their second turnover this quarter.
Yeah, I think it's
things just not going their way.
Yeah, I think that they feel that kind of been that kind of night. Back in the game now is Jake Marsh, quarterbacking for Wayzata, and he hands it off to Bedard on first down. Not much running room right there as the Edina defense closed in pretty nicely, and they give him no yards there on that first down carry.
And all three linebackers were plugging. They had the entire line of scrimmage was covered that time with white shirts, so there was really nowhere to go to for Tanner Bedard.
Handoff this time goes to Gordon, who's got some running room on the left side, and he's finally taken down as he scampered loose for a little bit. On the tackle there for Edina, Colin Ritter, but a nice gain for Gordon on second down. Picked up about 5 yards.
And it looks like Devontae James has come in for Gordon at the tailback spot. James a little bit thicker, a little bit stronger inside type of a tailback.
James, the deep back in the backfield. They're going to give it to him on a counter play, and he had all kinds of defensive penetration in the backfield there, and even the lid came off the top of Gabe Johnson, one of the linebackers for Edina's head, and he tried to leap over the top of that pile but was unable to do so. So defensively, Edina got a little bit stiffer up front there, and you see Coach Brad Anderson really letting somebody hear it. The referee.
Yeah, he's letting
onto the field he came. They called a timeout just so he could come on the field and argue. Boy, what is he unhappy about?
I don't know. It's hard to figure out because it was there must have been something happening inside the line of scrimmage that Brad saw that his ire usually doesn't get
I've never seen Coach Anderson act like this. It's the illegal cut block is what he's saying.
Okay.
But they're the offense, so I wonder what he's thinking's happening there.
Yeah, it's something happened between two of the linemen down there. Like you said, there was a lost lid by one of the linebackers, Gabe Johnson. Coach Anderson is still giving the linesman an earful.
Well, given the fact that we have Barrett Anderson on the sidelines here tonight, and the coincidence of the last name, maybe we could find out what's going on down there. She's gone from sideline reporter to investigative reporter in a hurry.
There you go.
Well, Wayzata punts the football back to Edina, a rare occurrence here in this football game, but the Hornets, I think, kind of got to give them a little bit of credit because things were really going poorly for them for quite a while. They're giving up 21 points, turning the ball over twice in the third quarter. It's been a terrible quarter, but defensively they got pretty stiff there on that last possession. New quarterback into the game for the Hornets, and they hand the ball off on first down.
Looks like Cullen Rash is the quarterback.
Rash, the quarterback, hands it off to Placide, who gets forward for a gain of 8 yards on first down.
8-yard gain.
11 carries, 56 yards now for Placide. And this quarter will come to an end. So after 3 quarters, it's Wayzata really pulling away from the Hornets, leading here on homecoming night. You're watching high school football right here on 12 Sports. Back at a rainy, blustery, windy Wayzata High School in Plymouth, and you know what's happening all across the state right now is weather's playing a factor here on Friday Night Lights. So it's going to be interesting to see all the different scores that come in and stories that come in about the games here tonight. Edina puts the ball on the turf on that handoff. Black was in motion. He was going to give it to Black or pull it back. Miscommunication between Black and the quarterback, Cullen Rash, and eventually I think Edina got back on top of that football. But again, the ball hits the turf now quite a few times here in the second half.
Right. And that's a version of the same play they've been running with the faking the jet sweep and then giving the ball to one of the running backs.
And Rash can't handle the snap now, and he has to bounce on that one and lay on it in the turf. So he'll lay on that one inside the 39-yard line. That's where this possession will come to an end for Edina. Oh, Rash decides to get on top of that one. It wasn't a very good snap, couldn't quite handle it. And some wasted plays there for Edina after getting good gain on first down, and then on 2 consecutive downs on second and third, they fumble the ball away. And eventually that leads to another punt. So Wayzata will take over here, comfortably leading 38-7 over Edina. And Bill, we had high expectations for this one being one of our first close games of the year, and we're in the situation again where what happens is sometimes the better team just flexes its muscle and that close game never happens.
Exactly. And, you know, quite honestly, you know, Wayzata got a couple of nice breaks that they made for themselves in the third quarter. And, you know, those 3 lightning quick scores, when we have 3 scores in less than 4 minutes of clock time, and that's just a backbreaker for any team.
On first down, it'll be Colpine who takes the carry. And Colpine gets a couple of yards on first down. He'll come out of the game now. A lot of substitutions in and out of the Wayzata lineup.
Yeah, probably in the next possession or so we'll see more and more of the second level guys coming in. But right now it's still pretty much the first unit. We always see a lot of running backs coming in and out for Wayzata.
On second down and 9, they keep the ball on the ground left side, and this time it's Bedard on the carry, and he didn't have much running room there as Edina, you know, defensively here, almost seems, you know, when Wayzata kind of puts the ball on the ground and you kind of expect him to put the ball on the ground, Edina's defense is able to kind of match up a little bit, but when the threat of the pass is there and when Wayzata throws the ball, that's what loosens up that defense, and that's what Wayzata has been able to do.
They've been able to balance that run and passing attack pretty well all night.
Jake Marsh, the sophomore quarterback for Wayzata, having one of his best nights of the year in terms of just passing efficiency. When he's had to throw the ball, he's done it quite accurately, and they've picked up enough through the air that it's loosened up that defense as they keep the ball on the ground on third down. See him pulling 2 linemen from the left side there, and Gordon goes up right side, but there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, Gabe Johnson and a couple of other guys for the Edina defense really firmed up that series of 3 and out for Edina. Wayzata's kicking the ball against the wind right now, so it's, Edina stands to get the ball in fairly decent position, field position.
Back-to-back 3 and outs for the Trojans offense as they punt the ball back to Edina's Hornets, and the Hornets will take over at their 40-yard line after that ball comes to a halt. And the game has kind of reached that point now where everyone kind of wants just to keep the clock running. Everyone wants to get out of here healthy.
Right.
Edina has a big game next week against Hopkins. You'd think they'd really want to get that victory in the Lake Conference after losses to Eden Prairie, and now it looks to be like a loss here tonight to Wayzata.
Right. And as we saw, Hopkins has some good players, and they can do some damage to you if you don't play smart football.
Yeah, it's not going to be a gimme for Edina, no question about that.
So first down running play to Jack Rickert. Gain of about 3. Looks to be about a 2nd and 7 from the 42, 43-yard line. 2nd and 8 probably.
And we are just going under the assumption that Rash has come in just as get some playing time at the quarterback position to keep Peterson safe. But you don't know if Peterson sustained some kind of injury in this game either.
Exactly.
I hope that's not the case. Rash hands the ball off on 2nd down and 8 to go, and that ball goes up the middle to, once again, Rickert. Rickert's been a back that's touched the ball a couple of times here in the second half, and when he gets the ball in his hand, he seems to kind of get some positive yards for the Hornets so far. That'll bring up 3rd down and 5 now for Edina. I'm looking for the bright pink from Peterson on the sidelines there, and most likely we don't see it because they might have a jacket on him or something, keeping him warm at this point. But you're just hoping that he didn't injure himself here tonight after a nice senior season. Now Rash puts the ball on the turf again, picks it up, and before he's able to do anything with it, he's quickly taken down in the backfield for a loss as the Wayzata defense quick to react there. Steelberg among the other Trojans on the tackle.
Ball handling has been an issue with Cullen Rash here since he's come in. He's had 2 or 3 miscues with the football. You got to take care of the rock. You can't be throwing that thing on the floor.
And I said that was Steelberg, but check that. It was Logan Larson for the tackle for loss. Captain for the Trojans makes a nice tackle in the backfield there. And here comes on the return Logan Patch as Patch gets across the 30 where he's taken down. And that'll give Wayzata the football back here. And now we're going to see a second unit in the offense for the Trojans as we take a look once again at that Patch return.
Logan Patch does a good job of picking his way, protecting the football, and getting the ball back into some semblance of relatively decent field position.
All right, here we go. Wayzata now up by 31, approaching the second half of the 4th quarter. And this is where we got to get your rosters ready and see how many players we can get in on homecoming night, right?
There you go.
Devontae James will be the deep back in the backfield. We can assume that he's going to get the ball on this handoff, and here he goes. James, all kinds of penetration in the backfield, nowhere to run there as he took the handoff from backup quarterback Billy Langer.
Yeah, and I'm suspecting that we'll see the ball stay pretty much on the ground here. Get a good look at Brandon Lingen, the big tight end. Had a couple of nice plays early in the game.
And when you're a tight end and you're 6'5", 240, and you got your D1 scholarship wrapped up, apparently he just made a commitment to the University of Minnesota. Congratulations to him. It's one of those things where you want him to go, have a good, you assume, redshirt freshman year and work hard to get into the Gopher lineup as Gopher fans. But it's one of those positions where as a Minnesota boy, you're that tall, you're that skilled. There's maybe a chance for you to play on Sunday someday if you do things right.
Yep. Guy by the name of Ben Utek did that fairly
that's
well.
that's the one position Minnesota can produce, some legitimate NFL prototype players.
Yep. John Carlson for the Vikings.
And of course, you had the guy from St. Michael, who I'm blanking on his name right now, that played at the University of Minnesota.
Yep. Pretty good pressure by the Edina defense there, as Billy Langer found that they're still aggressive.
Well, if you're Edina, you want to continue to play and make plays, and it's one of those games where if you make that ball pop out right now, it could be a loose ball, and you could try to score 6 from a defensive standpoint.
You got to do something to try to give your guys a boost in some way, and good aggressive defense always does it. Good way to work out your frustrations is go out and whack somebody on defense.
That's right. So on 4th down, Wayzata's going to give the ball back to Edina. Another punt, and this one's going to be a fair catch, signaled for by Cam Huffendick. And that's where Edina will take over. And the rain is coming down harder than it has all night.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to stop there for a few minutes there at the end of the 3rd quarter, but now it's really picked up again.
It was a packed house here at Wayzata. It is no longer a packed house. There are a lot of people sitting in their cars in the parking lot right now here in Wayzata.
There you go.
On their way to their favorite eating establishment. Yes. Our ratings are hitting an all-time high as everyone's at home now watching this on 12 live TV.
Now the second unit defense for Wayzata steps in, and they're going to be just as aggressive. This is always fun because the second guys, they want to prove to the coaches that they need to play more, so they're going to really go after it here.
On 2nd down, Rash hands off left side, and there's that second unit of Wayzata defenses, which I'm guessing a lot of schools around the state would love to pluck players from the second string defense of Wayzata.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Joe. With the number of people that they have in their program, it's the depth is certainly there for Wayzata.
Wayzata always produces good defensive players. I mean, you can just look around at what North Dakota State's doing this year, led by a linebacker, Grant Olson, that played at Wayzata, captain. You know, St. Louis Rams, James Leonidas. I mean, A.J. Tarpley over at Stanford. I mean, there's just great. And we're just talking the D1 levels. I mean, you look at D3 and D2 football, how many Wayzata players are sprinkled across the rosters.
Absolutely. You know, guys like Tommy Becker playing at, being an All-American at St. Thomas for a couple of years.
We got a couple new ones that play now. You know, Kit Snyder, remember him just a couple of years ago?
Exactly.
Whipson. They're all at St. Thomas. There's one up at UMD, one of the best Division II schools in the country. There's Sean Hamlin. A lot of good Wayzata players playing football at the next level. It's a tribute to Coach Brad Anderson and his program here. A punt that goes out of bounds, not a good net for the Hornets, and Wayzata's going to take over again. Good field position. And we'll get that second string offense moving once again. The only problem with the punts for you viewers at home and for the parents in the stands that are trying to get out of here as dry as possible is that they want to see their little Johnny and Jimmy get in the game, but they're getting awfully wet trying to do so.
There you go.
And the punts keep on stopping that clock. You know, some big donor here at Wayzata is having, I knew I should have built that dome.
There you go. There you go.
Retractable roof in Wayzata. Handoff goes left side now, and Edina defense closes in. As now playing quarterback for the Trojans is going to be Sam Tyson. And on that carry for Wayzata was Bennett Burbig. Wesley Jackson checks into the game now for Wayzata. And Tyson will get back under center. And deep back in the backfield is Joshua Gillespie. And Gillespie, it's attacked in the backfield there and thrown backwards for a loss. Not a happy tackle there as Nick Mertes was working out some of his frustration.
Yeah, there's going to be some aggression by the Edina defense here the rest of the game, the final couple of minutes as we play it out here.
Just over 2 minutes to go here at Wayzata on homecoming night with the Trojans leading 38-7. Along with Bill Hunstock, I'm Joe Moline. Barrett Anderson is under a canopy somewhere down along the sidelines. Made TV history here tonight during halftime with Barrett Anderson interviewing her dad on live TV. Barrett Anderson, our sideline reporter, is the daughter of head coach Brad Anderson and a rising star in the sports journalism world. Fourth down at the Wayzata 44, and the punting unit will come on once again. Edina will get one last crack at this ball. Timeout Wayzata as they let the time expire all the way down to the last moment there. Actually, they didn't call the timeout. They took the 5-yard penalty.
The penalty, yep.
And every last second off that clock.
And with 1 minute and 4 seconds to go, just a matter of Edina get the ball and see what they can do and run the clock out.
Good snap into the rain and a good punt from Kwame Adia. And Edina will take over now once again at their 36-yard line. So a disappointing night for the Hornets, who came into this game, I'm thinking, Bill, pretty optimistic. You know, they just beat Minnetonka last week, their biggest victory of the season. They got to 3-3, 500 ball. 2 big games left in their schedule, Wayzata and Hopkins, and I think they were coming in here tonight thinking they had a pretty good shot. And well, what happened was Wayzata gave them their best shot.
Just didn't happen, yeah. And you know, they kind of shot themselves a foot a couple of times there in the third quarter, and that really just really squeezed it out. The third quarter was really the telltale period of time.
Colin Rash had a trouble again with that snap, puts it on the turf, but picked it up and fell forward for a gain of 1. And it's interesting how things would have played out here tonight with the way that certain players are having a difficult time with this football. Had this been a close game, what would it be like right now?
There you go.
Rash again puts the ball on the turf, and this time completes the handoff after the fumble. And things are just getting awfully ugly here for the Hornets.
That'll be the last play. I don't know that they'll snap the ball again.
Referees doing their best to keep that ball wet. And I think with these turf fields, you know, there's less mud involved in these rainy games, but the ball still is just as slippery.
The ball stays a little bit drier, doesn't pick up as much gunk as it does on a grass field, but still gets slippery from time to time.
Well, with that, the Wayzata Trojans put the 4th win in the book, and they prepare for what is going to be their biggest challenge of the regular season, a matchup with the #1 team in the land, Eden Prairie Eagles, next week. Hopkins finishes up their regular season. They fall to 3-4. They play against Hopkins next week. Wayzata with games against Eden Prairie and Minnetonka still to go, and then just like with the blink of an eye, we'll be in high school football playoffs.
Absolutely.
And you can watch all that great action here on 12 Sports. We thanks for watching here tonight, along with Bill Hunstock and Barrett Anderson. I'm Joe Moline, saying so long.